What up, food fanatics? It's Bobby, and today we are gonna make some tasty meal prepping for weight loss that is easy to make, crazy delicious, and when you try it, you're gonna be like, wow, I never knew meal prepping for weight loss could be that tasty, because we're making pork fried rice. Veggie-loaded cauliflower rice with soft scrambled eggs and crusty seared pork chops with a sesame chili glaze. So if you like healthy recipes that actually taste good, never make bland, overcooked chicken breast, and will never clickbait you with a picture of a girl's boobs or a guy's biceps on the thumbnail, subscribe to my channel. I am rocking out new meal preps every Friday morning, and I want you to join the Flav City community. In front of me, I have 10 thin-cut pork chops. Now, not only are pork chops just as lean as chicken breast, but when you buy them thin cut or pounded like this, they cook way quicker and much more evenly. But you know, I am all about adding flavor at every step of the cooking process and trying not to add any fat. So if you know me at all, you know I'm about to make a spice rub and put it all up on this pork. But this time I don't even have to make a spice rub because I have Chinese 5-spice powder in front of me. Get your schnoz in there and smell that. You've seen me use it before, and if I have to try to remember, it's got Szechuan peppercorns, fennel, cloves, cinnamon, and star anise. I'm surprised I actually remembered that. So it's basically like getting 5 spices for the price of 1, and it is so aromatic. First, I'm gonna reach for some salt though, and dust a good amount over the top of the pork, and then pinch over a generous amount of the 5-spice. Give it a good rub down here, flip it over and repeat. Now, if you guys can't find Chinese 5-spice at your local grocery store, I'll put a link down below in the description box so you can grab it. Because once we cook this in a hot cast iron pan later on, those spices are gonna sear into the crust, creating insane flavor, insane texture, and wait until you see how crusty they get. It's crazy. Now, if you know anything about the way I cook my meat, is that I never cook it cold in a hot pan or a hot oven, because if I cook these right now, they'll cook unevenly and they're gonna be dry and tough. So I always push them to the side for about 20 minutes. That gets the chill off of the meat, and that gives the spice rub a chance to get down into that pork and really marinate. In the meantime, we can get cracking on our cauliflower fried rice. For the cauliflower fried rice, I'm preheating a large nonstick pan over medium-high heat. I'm gonna drizzle in 2 teaspoons of grapeseed oil. I really like using grapeseed oil lately because it has a high smoke point, meaning it won't burn, and it's a neutral oil. It doesn't have any flavor. Now, I'm gonna pick up my bowl of veggies here. I have broccoli, yellow squash, onions, and red bell peppers. I'm trying to make this as nutrient dense as possible for you guys. Now go ahead and put it in the pan, and then pinch in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now yes, this is a boatload of veggies, but after cooking this for a good 12 to 14 minutes, it's gonna reduce by over half because it's literally all water inside of there, and then we'll go in with the garlic and the ginger. In the meantime, let's check out my cauli boobs here. I'm not gonna tease you with clickbait of boobs, but I might tease you with cauli boobs. I mean, come on, how sweet would this be for a thumbnail right now? Just saying. Now, ricing cauliflower is one of my favorite things to do lately because it has no carbs and it's no starch. To do that, first I like to cut the cauliflower in half. A knife will work better. So cut it in half, and then cut it in half one more time. And then use the largest setting on your box grater and just grate it back and forth. And check it out, you guys. Riced cauliflower. Now listen, you guys, this is kid tested and spouse approved. Many of you have made this at home and your kids and spouses haven't even known that it's not rice. So if you haven't tried it yet, get on it, you are gonna love it. All right, let's move the rice to the side and check the vegetables. They've been going for about 10 minutes and they're nice and wilted. Already, they're down by about half, but they still have a little more to go before we add a good amount of garlic and fresh ginger. The fresh stuff always is better. It's a little spicy, it's kind of tangy. This is my favorite way to break it down. I take a spoon and peel all the skin away here, and then use a fine grater or a microplane zester to break down the ginger. All the tough fibers stay on the top, and the grated ginger comes through on the bottom. Add that to the pan, along with 3 cloves of garlic that I finely minced. I'm gonna let that cook for a couple minutes more. Now, if you guys don't have a microplane zester by now, I'll leave a link down below in the description box with this and all the products I'm using today. I pretty much use this every single recipe. It really comes in handy, and I think you guys will like it too. Now for me, fried rice is not complete without a silky, runny custardy egg all throughout that fried rice. If it weren't meal prepping for weight loss, I might do 4 eggs, but I'm gonna pare it down to 2 of these. Give them a good whisk. Make a well in the center of your pan. And just pour the eggs right in there. It's only gonna take a couple minutes for those to get scrambled, and for me, I like a soft scramble. I don't like when it's kind of rubbery and overcooked. So as soon as these come together, they're pretty much done. So that looks good. I'm gonna mix in all the veggies and then immediately go in with the cauliflower rice. I'll give that a really good mix up. Now here's the deal, the cauliflower is raw. So I do wanna cook it for just a couple minutes to get that raw crunch out of there, but I don't wanna overcook it because if you do, it's gonna get soggy, and just like overcooked rice, soggy cauliflower rice sucks. So grab a lid, or if you're like me, you might not have a lid that is big as this ginormous pan, so grab ye old sheet tray from the oven and just slap it right over the pan. Now the steam inside of there is gonna cook the cauliflower. I'm only gonna do it for 3 minutes and then I yank it off. Let's take a peek under the pan. Beauty. Look at the colors in that pan, you guys. Already that is screaming, eat me. Now I'm gonna finish it with my favorite toppings and sauces for fried rice. I'm gonna add a cup of frozen peas. Don't even bother defrosting them, the heat will do that for you. Add a tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce. Depending how spicy you like it, squeeze over as much sriracha sauce or chili paste as you want. And then drizzle in a half a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. This stuff is strong, so just a little bit will do ya. And finally, some green onions that I finely sliced. One last stir, and oh, the aromas coming off of this pan right now are insane. And then we have to check for seasoning, AKA quality control, and make sure this fried rice is on point. Let's see if I wanna be a baller. Let's see if I can do this. Come on, you can do it, Bobby. You can do it. Oh, look at me. What up, yo? Okay. And shake over a teaspoon of sesame seeds. And give it one last stir. Perfect. The cauliflower is cooked through, but it still has a little crunch. The eggs, the soy, the veggies, the sesame oils are absolutely en fuego. That fried rice is legit. Now let's get back to these spice crusted pork chops and cook those too. Now check out these pork chops, you guys. After 25 minutes, you can see the spice rub really got down deep into the meat. Now to get these nice and crusty, I'm preheating a cast iron pan over medium-high heat. I'm gonna drizzle in 2 teaspoons of grapeseed oil and then place the pork chops in the pan. Perfect. That's what you wanna hear, you guys. Because I preheated the pan, it's gonna start cooking immediately, and that sizzle is gonna turn into an insane crust later on, watch. Now, if you're thinking about stuffing all the pork chops into one pan, do not do that, because if you overcrowd the pan, the heat drops so much, the pork won't sear. It actually boils in their own juices, so either do this in 2 batches, or I have 2 cast iron pans, do it in 2 pans, but don't stuff it all into one. All right, now because these chops are thin, they're only gonna take 3 to 4 minutes on each side, and to save myself a huge cleanup later on, I always throw a splatter guard down. That'll prevent the oil from going everywhere and making my cleanup life a mess. Time to flip them over. Perfect. That's what I was talking about, you guys. The crust on there looks unbelievable. Let them go another 3 minutes. Time to get the pork chops out of the pan. They're nice and crusty on both sides. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision because these smell unbelievable right now. Now, while they're hot, I'm gonna grab some of this sweet chili sauce. It is probably one of my favorite store-bought sauces. I'm gonna drizzle about a tablespoon over on top of the chops while they're hot. It's gonna soak down deep into the pork chops. Take a brush here and just baste it around here. And because the chops are nice and sticky now, it's the perfect time to grab some sesame seeds and just pour some right over the top. Now, if you were gonna devour these glazed pork chops right now, I wouldn't blame you, but you do have to wait 5 minutes so it can cool down just a little bit. Because think about it, the juices inside of here are boiling. If you cut into these perfectly cooked chops now, all the juices will go all over your plate, they'll dry out and be tough. So let them rest. I'll grab my meal prep containers and we'll be set for the week. Got my glass meal prep containers and some seriously badass looking meal prepping for weight loss in front of me. Before I stuff it into my containers, let's plate it on a plate to see what that looks like also. Grab some of the cauliflower rice, put that down as the base on my plate, and then grab one of the pork chops, and then slice it thin. Oh man, that pork is really juicy. And then fan it out all over the top of the rice. And there it is, a beautiful plate of pork cauliflower fried rice. And for the meal prep containers, grab a big old scoop of cauliflower fried rice, get that in the container, and then grab 2 of the pork choppers and put that in there also. All 5 containers are done for the week and looking mighty tempting. Luckily, I have a plate with my name right in front of me. Let's tuck into a piece of that pork. You guys, get on this recipe ASAP. That pork is so juicy, and the flavor from the spice crust and the glaze on the top is absolutely banging. The recipe is down below, along with the macros, the storage, and the reheating instructions. When you do make this, tag me on social media because I love seeing your creations. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for new videos every Friday morning. If you want to see 2 more meal prep for weight losses that are legit, check out the videos below me, but I will see you next Friday. Until then, I say unto you, like I always do, #keep on cooking. Later.